Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
One of the most gruesome trials regarding abortion, and yet most of the media is silent on this issue. Hi, I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, this trial that has been going on in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, of Kermit Gosnell regarding his horrendous, gruesome, barbaric abortion practice is something that has basically not been caught up by the major media. Very little media has focused on this. Obviously, I think there's a bias against covering this abortion trial.
Well, our friends over at the Media Research Center have done a report and have pointed out that here we have the stuff that the media loves. This is, and we can't even describe and put into words how brutal the serial killings that went on. We're not just talking about abortions at this abortion mill. We're talking about babies who were born alive, who were delivered and then decapitated, and babies' feet kept in jars, and just a house of horrors, literally. Yet the media has spiked this story, and Matt, and you know as well as I do, it's because it doesn't fit the narrative. They're not going to portray anything that paints the abortion industry in a negative light. This is media propaganda through omission, through a failure to cover, and it just again shows you that the mainstream media is not what it used to be. It has gone from bias to a propagandist wing of the progressive movement.
Yeah, now this is a former employee. This Kermit Gosnell. He's facing 43 criminal counts, 8 counts of murder in the death of one patient, and 7 newborn infants. So 8 total. Additional charges include conspiracy, drug delivery resulting in death, infanticide, corruption of minors, evidence of tampering, theft by deception, abuse of corpse, and corruption. Former employee described how she heard a baby scream during a live birth abortion. Another worker said that Gosnell's clinic was, quote, a house of horrors, and testified that she saw a baby jump when she snipped the neck following an abortion. So when these babies, late-term abortions, were born and they were still alive, Gosnell killed them. He snipped their necks, their spinal cords. He decapitated them. One person alive, yeah. One person said that it was like raining fetuses in Gosnell's clinic, and there was blood everywhere. Babies, blood parts,
dismembered baby parts
everywhere.
Yeah.
This was like the Holocaust. This was just an incredible, barbaric situation that he had gotten to that point, and he then operates under the law of Roe versus Wade, that abortion is legal, and he's going to pursue this. And this is the kind of, this kind of barbaric activity obviously was done on children who were born and they survived the abortion. Yeah. But the same kind of barbaric activity is done every day inside the womb. You just don't see it, where they get ripped, they get torn, forceps pull off arms and legs and crush the skull, all those kinds of things. This is abortion. This is Roe versus Wade. This is the distortion of the law. This is an atrocity and a page that we must turn.
We're talking, the only difference here we're talking about is a foot in space, time and space. Whether the baby is in the womb, whether the baby is out of the womb, it is a living person with a separate heartbeat, separate brain waves. And here we have an instance that is horrifying everybody. I hope, Matt, and I hope for everyone listening right now, if you consider yourself pro-choice, that you will investigate this case and what is going on here. The mainstream media, you're not going to find information. But go to Liberty Counsel's website, the Family Research Council, others. We are putting out the information to stand in where the media has been absent. Hope you'll investigate this. This is what abortion is. There's nothing about it's not pro-choice, Matt. It's pro-death. It's pro-murder. There's no other way to put it.
A Delaware woman who worked for Gosnell and the abortion clinic testified that it was, quote, standard procedure to snip the necks of any babies that were delivered by patients before the abortion procedure due to labor-inducing drugs. So in other words, if they're giving the drugs and those drugs are inducing labor and they're delivered before they actually killed them inside the womb. Now they're alive. What they did is they killed them. And they did that under the idea, well, the woman wanted to abort them, so her intent was to kill the child. It would have been okay if I did it in the womb, so I'm just going to do it outside the womb. There's no difference. It's the same baby. That was their, and then Linda Williams, 44 of Wilmington, said that Gosnell taught her how to flip the body of the baby over and snip its neck with a pair of scissors, and recalled one time when she followed this procedure and the orders and saw the child move. She said it jumped the arm, showing the jury by raising up her arm when this baby's neck was snipped. Earlier she testified, I only do what I'm told. What I was told to do was snip their neck.
Yeah.
I mean, it's barbaric.
How do you even? I mean, how do you put it into words? But Matt, this is in keeping with Planned Parenthood's policies and procedures. We just recently, right before this trial began, there was a top Planned Parenthood official who testified before a state legislature. I can't remember which state offhand. State legislature, saying essentially that when asked what happened, what do you do with the babies when they're born alive? She wouldn't give a direct answer, but she essentially said, well, we have to look to what the intent of the mother was. So if the intent of the mother was to kill the baby, it doesn't really matter, does it, if the baby is born alive? What really matters is the intent of the mother to kill that baby. So this, what Gosnell has done here, is just the horrific ends that we see from this philosophy that Planned Parenthood already holds near and dear, and President Barack Obama.
Yeah, President Barack Obama, when he was in the state senate in Illinois, Jill Stanek, the nurse who worked at Christ Hospital is associated with the denomination where his church was. It's part of that same church. Reverend Jeremiah Wright is all part of that same group. That particular hospital was having babies born alive, and that denomination that he was part of, they were pro-abortion before Roe versus Wade was even decided. They promoted abortion before 1973. In that hospital, then part of this denomination, that hospital allowed babies to be born alive and gone. They put them in a room and they died.
In a broom closet, I think.
And Jill wanted to have a law, the Born Alive Infant Protection Act. She went to the state senate, and Barack Obama was there, stopped it 3 times.
Yeah, he vocally spoke against it and said that it was because, and I don't have his exact quote, but the President of the United States opposed a law that would simply require that doctors make every effort, once a baby is born alive, the victim of a botched abortion, that they would make every effort to save that child. Obama said no, that would violate the original intent of the mother to abort the child, to induce labor and abort the child.
That might ultimately infringe on abortion. You know, this entire administration is so pro-abortion. When President Barack Obama was running for president in 2008, he said the first thing he wanted to do as president was sign the Freedom of Choice Act. That law would, as proposed, overrule all the different laws currently in existence, stop parental consent, notification, informed consent, all of those, clinic regulations, everything. That's what he wanted to do as his first act of president. He never got a chance to do that, but that's what he wanted to do. And he was making that statement at Planned Parenthood. You know, Hillary Clinton, one of her close workers, has now gone down to Florida, and she works in the Naples, Florida Planned Parenthood clinic. So this administration, including Kathleen Sebelius, she was the governor of Kansas, and was very much a supporter of the late-term abortion doctor, Dr. Tiller, and Planned Parenthood. You know, this is what, you know, if the Department of Justice had something to do that was legitimate, this is what they ought to go after, this kind of thing. But instead, they obviously want to promote this. But the media has been complicitly silent. This is the face of abortion, people. And this is why it is time for us to pray and repent over this horror of abortion. It is our modern-day Holocaust, and at some point in time, there's going to be a book written, chapters written, why did we not do something to stop this? How could we participate in this kind of brutality. Just like when we look back at Nazi Germany. How could they have gotten to that point? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're at that point right now, and we need to ultimately stop this barbaric butchering of our children. Go to Liberty Counsel's website, lifeunited.org. That's a website that we've launched that is a one-stop place for pro-life information, lifeunited.org. And, of course, our regular website is lc.org. Remember us in your prayers and your financial commitments.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.